Nestled high in Portland, Oregon, overlooking the city from the West Hills, the Pittock Mansion stands as a testament to early 20th century opulence and architectural grandeur. Built in 1914 by Henry Pittock, an influential Oregonian publisher, this French Renaissance-style estate is more than just a beautiful home. It's a site steeped in history and mystery. Henry Pittock, known for his significant contributions to the Oregonian newspaper, envisioned a mansion that matched his grand ambitions. Starting construction in 1909, he spared no expense, selecting Tanino sandstone and incorporating the latest technologies of the time. The mansion featured a central vacuum system, intercoms, specialty lighting, an elevator, and even a restaurant-quality refrigerator. The attention to detail and luxury made it a stunning example of the era's elegance. The mansion's interior, designed by San Francisco architect Edward Folks, combined French Renaissance, Edwardian, and Turkish styles, reflecting Pittock's sophisticated taste. Once completed, the estate quickly became a gathering place for Portland's elite. Henry's wife, Georgiana, embraced her role as a socialite, frequently hosting gatherings and tending to the mansion's lush gardens. Her love for roses contributed to the creation of Portland's Rose Society and the annual Rose Festival, which remains a beloved event to this day. Despite its grandeur, the Pittock Mansion is not just known for its history, but also for the eerie tales that surround it. Since the 1960s, when the mansion began attracting visitors after a period of abandonment, reports of ghostly activity have emerged. Visitors and staff alike have described unsettling experiences, including mysterious scents and disembodied footsteps. The mansion's rich history and the sudden deaths of its original owners, Georgiana in 1918 and Henry a year later, have fueled speculation about the spirits that might linger within its walls. In the next parts, we will delve deeper into these ghostly occurrences and the mansion's reputation as a haunted location. For now, let's begin our journey into the haunted history of the Pittock Mansion and uncover the chilling tales that make this elegant estate a captivating subject of paranormal fascination. The Pittock Mansion's reputation as a haunted location has grown significantly since it first opened to the public in 1965. Despite its majestic appearance and rich history, the mansion is often associated with mysterious and unsettling occurrences. Over the decades, both visitors and staff have reported a range of eerie experiences that suggest the presence of supernatural forces. Yet many of the ghostly reports are centered around the mansion's upper floors. One of the most commonly mentioned phenomena is the sudden and strong scent of roses. This floral fragrance, which often appears out of nowhere, is believed to be connected to Georgiana Pittock, who had a deep passion for gardening and roses. Visitors have described the scent as both pleasant and inexplicably intense, with some noting that it seems to linger long after they've left the area. Another frequently reported occurrence is the sound of shovels and footsteps near the mansion's northern side. These sounds are thought to be the remnants of the mansion's former groundskeeper, who, like the Pittocks, spent much of his life tending to the estate. The noises, which include the clinking of a shovel and heavy, deliberate footsteps, seem to echo through the grounds as if the groundskeeper is still performing his duties even after death. Inside the mansion, visitors have encountered various strange events. Windows are often seen opening and closing on their own, with no apparent cause. Staff members have reported hearing footsteps in empty rooms and noticing that a portrait of Henry Pittock appears to move on its own. These occurrences contribute to the mansion's ghostly reputation, painting a picture of a place where the past seems to persist in the present. The mansion's history, combined with these unsettling experiences, has helped solidify its status as one of Portland's most intriguing haunted sites. Many locals and visitors believe that the spirits of Henry and Georgiana Pittock, along with other former residents, continue to inhabit the mansion, creating a connection between the present and the past. The Pittock Mansion is not just a site of general eerie activity. It's also known for specific ghostly encounters that have left a lasting impression on those who have experienced them. These encounters often center around particular areas within the mansion and have become the focus of many ghostly tales. One of the most intriguing locations within the mansion is the Grand Ballroom. Here, visitors have reported seeing strange apparitions and experiencing sudden drops in temperature. Some claim to have seen shadowy figures moving across the room, their forms briefly illuminated by the ballroom's ornate chandeliers before vanishing. These sightings are often accompanied by an unexplained chill that seems to settle over the area, heightening the sense of unease. Another notable location is the library, where numerous reports of paranormal activity have been documented. Staff and visitors have described witnessing books flying off shelves and hearing the sound of pages turning when no one is present. Additionally, the library's large old-fashioned fireplace has been the site of peculiar incidents. Some visitors have reported seeing a figure standing by the hearth, only for the figure to disappear as they approached. This figure is often described as wearing clothing from the early 20th century, consistent with the time when the mansion was first built. The mansion's upstairs bedrooms also hold a reputation for ghostly activity. One particularly haunting report involves a visitor who saw a woman in a long, flowing gown standing near a window. When the visitor attempted to approach, the apparition reportedly turned and walked away, disappearing through a wall. This ghost is believed to be Georgiana Pittock, maintaining a silent vigil over the rooms she once cherished. Perhaps the most unsettling encounters occur in the mansion's basement. Known for its dim lighting and musty smell, the basement has been the scene of several ghostly apparitions. Witnesses have reported hearing disembodied voices and footsteps echoing through the dark, empty spaces. Some have even described seeing shadowy figures darting across the basement's walls, adding to the area's reputation as one of the mansion's most haunted locations. These specific ghostly encounters contribute to the Pittock Mansion's reputation as a site of ongoing supernatural activity. Each area of the mansion seems to hold its own unique stories, making the mansion a rich tapestry of paranormal phenomena that continue to intrigue and unsettle visitors. As we delve deeper into the eerie occurrences at the Pittock Mansion, more personal and detailed encounters emerge from those who have spent time within its walls. These stories add layers to the mansion's haunted reputation, revealing a wide range of supernatural experiences that go beyond the more common reports. One particularly chilling account involves the mansion's dining room. Several guests have reported hearing the clinking of silverware and the soft murmur of voices, as though an invisible dinner party was underway. This phenomenon is often accompanied by the sight of an antique chandelier swaying gently, despite there being no drafts or disturbances in the room. Witnesses who have tried to investigate these sounds find the dining room empty, with no sign of anyone having been there. The mansion's gardens also contribute to the haunted lore. Visitors who stroll through the well-maintained rose gardens have reported seeing strange figures among the flowers. These apparitions are described as vague, misty shapes that seem to blend with the surroundings. Occasionally, the scent of roses becomes overwhelmingly strong, leading some to believe that these figures are connected to Georgiana Pittock's lingering presence. One visitor described feeling a soft, unseen touch on their shoulder, only to turn around and find no one there. In the servants' quarters, which are less frequently visited, strange occurrences have also been reported. Former staff members have spoken of hearing footsteps and murmurs in the night, even though the rooms are completely unoccupied. Some have claimed to see their work tools, such as cleaning supplies and kitchen utensils, moved or rearranged, as if someone invisible were still working. These accounts suggest that the spirits of past staff may still be tending to their duties. The mansion's attic, often overlooked by tourists, has its own share of paranormal tales. Visitors who venture into this dusty space have reported seeing objects shift on their own and hearing the faint sound of a piano playing, despite the attic not having a piano. The attic's eerie atmosphere is heightened by reports of a ghostly figure dressed in early 20th century clothing, believed to be one of the Pittock family's former residents, wandering aimlessly among the stored items. These accounts of supernatural activity within the Pittock Mansion reveal a depth of haunting that extends throughout the property. Each part of the mansion, from the dining room to the attic, holds its own set of ghostly experiences, painting a picture of a location where the past continues to make its presence known. The Pittock Mansion stands as a testament to grandeur and history, with its captivating architecture and rich past. Yet, beneath its opulent exterior lies a world of spectral activity that continues to intrigue and unsettle those who visit. From the overwhelming scent of roses linked to Georgiana Pittock, to the ghostly figures seen in the gardens, and the mysterious sounds within its rooms, the mansion offers a window into a world where the past lingers. The disembodied footsteps, shifting objects, and ghostly apparitions all contribute to a tapestry of paranormal activity that reflects the mansion's storied history. Despite the eerie happenings, visitors and staff alike describe the spirits associated with the Pittock Mansion as largely benign. The presence of Henry and Georgiana Pittock, along with the spirit of their dedicated groundskeeper, seems to cast a protective and welcoming aura over the estate. The mansion's spectral inhabitants appear to take pleasure in sharing their beautiful home with those who come to admire it. As the Pittock Mansion continues to attract visitors with its charm and history, the stories of its hauntings add an intriguing layer to its legacy. Whether you're drawn by the allure of its architecture, its historical significance, or the possibility of encountering a ghost, the mansion stands as a place where history and the supernatural intertwine. The Pittock Mansion remains a cherished part of Portland's heritage, both for its stunning restoration and for the ghostly tales that have become an integral part of its story. For those who visit, it offers a unique blend of historical grandeur and a touch of the otherworldly, ensuring that its captivating presence endures. The Bandage Man is one of Oregon's creepiest urban legends, centered around a stretch of Highway 101 near the town of Cannon Beach. This haunting tale has been passed down for decades, with stories about a mysterious figure wrapped head to toe in bloody bandages. The legend first appeared in the 1950s, and since then, it has terrified locals and visitors alike. According to the story, the Bandage Man is the ghost of a logger who suffered a gruesome death in a sawmill accident. Others claim he was a fireman, an electrician, or even a truck driver, but what remains consistent is that he was severely injured and covered in bandages. After his accident, he was placed in an ambulance, but the vehicle never made it to the hospital. A landslide buried the ambulance, killing the driver, and the Bandage Man was never found. Since then, the Bandage Man has been seen roaming the area. He is said to have an awful smell of rotting flesh, and he appears out of nowhere on dark, lonely nights, especially targeting parked cars and trucks on the highway. His appearance is always accompanied by a sense of dread, and the smell of decay is often the first sign that he's near. The legend warns that the Bandage Man doesn't just scare people. He has a hunger for dogs, small animals, and even humans. The haunting stretch of Highway 101, from the Highway 26 junction to Cannon Beach and as far down as Arch Cape, is where many of these encounters are said to happen. Stories of the Bandage Man have become part of Cannon Beach's eerie history, with the locals sharing tales of their frightening run-ins with this terrifying figure. This is just the beginning of the haunted history behind the Bandage Man legend, a story that has left a lasting mark on this coastal Oregon town. Over the years, the Bandage Man has developed a terrifying reputation in the Cannon Beach area. His legend has become an inseparable part of the local folklore, with stories passed from one generation to the next. In the 1950s and 1960s, pranks and tales about the Bandage Man were common, especially among teenagers who dared each other to park on the dark roads where he was known to appear. The Bandage Man is often described as a ghostly figure covered in filthy, blood-soaked bandages. People say he appears late at night, mostly targeting parked cars along the secluded parts of Highway 101. He is notorious for haunting young couples who pull off the road for some privacy, often jumping into the back of pickup trucks or onto open-topped cars. Many who have seen him report that he moves with an unnatural, jerky gait, and his appearance is always accompanied by the stench of decaying flesh. The Bandage Man doesn't just haunt the road, he attacks. Witnesses have shared stories of him banging on windows, scratching at car doors, and even leaving behind pieces of his rotting bandages. Some say he's been known to break windows and try to pull people out of their cars, while others have told of him leaving behind bits of bloody fabric as a chilling reminder of their close encounter. Though most encounters end with the Bandage Man disappearing before reaching the town, the fear he leaves behind lingers. The legend continues to terrify those brave enough to travel the dark, winding roads at night, and many locals refuse to drive on that stretch of Highway 101 after sunset. Despite the scary reputation, some believe the Bandage Man is nothing more than a ghost story meant to keep tourists away. However, the consistency of the sightings and the detailed accounts from those who've seen him have kept the legend alive, making it one of Oregon's most well-known haunted tales. The eerie stretch of Highway 101 near Cannon Beach is where most of the Bandage Man sightings occur. Known for its dark, winding roads, this part of the highway has become infamous for encounters with the ghostly figure. Over the years, many people have shared chilling stories of their close brushes with this terrifying urban legend. One of the most well-known encounters happened in the 1960s. A young couple parked their truck on an isolated road just off Highway 101, looking for a quiet spot away from town. They had heard the rumors about the Bandage Man, but like many locals, they didn't take it seriously. That changed when their truck suddenly started shaking. At first, they thought it was the wind, or maybe a wild animal, but the smell of rotting flesh filled the air. The young man looked through the rear window and saw him, wrapped in bloody bandages, staring at them with piercing eyes. He immediately tried to start the truck, but the Bandage Man began pounding on the roof and sides of the vehicle, trying to get in. As they sped away down the road, the figure disappeared just as suddenly as he had appeared, leaving the couple terrified and forever convinced of the legend's truth. There have been other reports of similar encounters. People driving along the highway late at night in open-top cars or pickup trucks have claimed to see the Bandage Man suddenly appear in their rearview mirrors. Some say they only became aware of his presence after catching a whiff of the foul stench of decay, while others claim he jumped into the back of their trucks and pounded on the windows, only to vanish before reaching town. In addition to these close encounters, there are stories of the Bandage Man leaving behind small, bloody scraps of bandages after his appearances. Some locals claim to have found these pieces on their cars or near the spots where they had parked. It's said that these bits of bandages are cursed, and anyone who finds one should leave it behind. Taking it home brings bad luck and invites the Bandage Man to return. These encounters have turned the quiet stretch of road near Cannon Beach into a notorious spot for the thrill seekers. Despite the terror the Bandage Man brings, his legend draws people in, daring them to test their courage against one of the Oregon's most haunted figures. As the years have gone by, the stories of the Bandage Man have continued to evolve, but his ghostly presence remains a haunting fixture along Highway 101. Those who have ventured into the area hoping to experience the supernatural for themselves often leave with unsettling stories of their own. One particularly chilling account comes from a group of friends who decided to test the legend. They parked their car on a secluded road known for its Bandage Man sightings, and as night fell, they began to hear strange noises from outside. At first, they dismissed it as animals or the wind, but the sounds grew louder and more distinct. The unmistakable stench of rotting flesh filled the air, and the car began to shake violently. Peering out of the windows, they saw the shadowy form of a man covered in blood-soaked bandages, moving erratically toward their vehicle. Panicked, they started the car and sped away, but not before one of them saw the Bandage Man reach out a hand, leaving behind a torn piece of bloody bandage on the car's rear-view mirror. Another encounter involved a lone traveler who was driving a convertible late at night. The traveler had heard of the Bandage Man, but didn't believe in the legend. However, as he drove down the dark stretch of Highway 101, he noticed a foul smell and felt his car being jolted. Glancing in the rearview mirror, he saw the figure of the Bandage Man crawling into the back seat. The traveler quickly pulled over, but when he turned around, the figure had vanished, leaving behind a trail of blood and bandages on the car's interior. Some of the stories take a more ominous turn. In one case, a local business owner reported that their restaurant's windows had been smashed, and there were traces of bloody bandages scattered around the premises. Though the police could find no evidence of an intruder, the owner believed it was the work of the Bandage Man, seeking to terrorize the community once more. There have also been reports of missing pets and animals found mutilated in the area. While these stories are often dismissed as rumors or the work of wild animals, some locals insist that the Bandage Man is to blame. They believe that the creature's hunger for flesh extends to the animals in the area, and that he prowls the roads and nearby woods in search of his next meal. The ongoing encounters with the Bandage Man continue to fuel the legend, drawing both skeptics and believers to Highway 101. The stories of those who have seen the Bandage Man or found his gruesome traces serve as a chilling reminder of the ghostly figure that haunts this stretch of road. As long as the legend persists, so too will the tales of the Bandage Man and the terror he brings to those who dare to cross his path. As we reach the end of the story, the haunting legend of the Bandage Man remains firmly entrenched in the lore of Cannon Beach and its surrounding areas. This ghostly figure, wrapped in bloody bandages and reeking of rotting flesh, continues to captivate and terrify those who hear his tale. The Bandage Man, whose origins trace back to a tragic accident and a mystery that has never truly been resolved, is a testament to how folklore evolves and endures over time. The Bandage Man's legend has lived on through countless stories, each adding to the chilling reputation of this spectral entity. Despite numerous sightings and eerie encounters, there is no concrete evidence to explain his existence, leaving the Bandage Man as a persistent enigma. His ability to vanish without a trace and the lingering stench of decay make him a particularly unsettling figure. Whether he is a ghost seeking vengeance, a hungry ghoul, or merely a figment of local imagination, his presence continues to haunt the stretch of Highway 101 and its surroundings. The tales of the Bandage Man serve as a grim reminder of the power of local legends and their impact on a community. The fear and fascination surrounding him have kept the story alive, drawing curious thrill seekers and ghost hunters to the area. While some dismiss the stories as mere superstition or urban myth, others believe that the Bandage Man is very real, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the next unsuspecting victim. As with many legends, the true nature of the Bandage Man remains shrouded in mystery. The unsettling stories and encounters have become an integral part of the local culture, contributing to the rich tapestry of ghostly lore in Oregon. For those who dare to venture along Highway 101, the lingering question remains, is the Bandage Man a genuine spirit, or just a terrifying tale to keep you on edge? In the end, the Bandage Man stands as a symbol of the fears and fascination that legends evoke. Whether he is seen as a cautionary tale, a ghostly specter, or a piece of regional folklore, his story endures, continuing to intrigue and scare those who encounter his legend. As long as the darkness falls over Highway 101, the haunting figure of the Bandage Man will remain a chilling part of Oregon's ghostly landscape. Heceta Head. Lighthouse stands as one of the most iconic and haunted landmarks on the Oregon coast. Built in the late 19th century, The lighthouse began its operation in 1894, guiding ships through the dangerous waters with its powerful beacon. Overlooking the rough, rocky coastline and the crashing waves of the Pacific Ocean, Heceta Head has been a symbol of safety for over a century. However, the lighthouse is also famous for something much more mysterious: its haunted past. The lighthouse sits on a cliff near the small town of Yachats, Oregon, and adjacent to it is the former keeper's house. This picturesque Queen Anne-style residence, with its white walls and red roof, may appear inviting from the outside, but it has earned a reputation as one of the most haunted places on the West Coast. For many years, visitors, caretakers, and guests of the house have shared stories of strange occurrences and ghostly apparitions, all centered around a figure known as Rue. According to local legend, Rue was the wife of an assistant lighthouse keeper in the 1890s, and her story is one of deep sorrow. It is said that Rue lost a young daughter while living at the lighthouse, though the details of how her child died remain unclear. Some believe the child drowned in the ocean, or perhaps in a cistern nearby. Others claim that there is an unmarked grave somewhere on the property, hidden in the overgrown vegetation, though it has never been found. The haunting of the Heceta Head Lighthouse is closely tied to Rue's endless search for her lost child. Stories of her ghost, seen roaming the halls of the keeper's house, have been told for decades. Though Rue's presence is not seen as threatening, it is said that she watches over the house, keeping a close eye on anyone who enters, as if she's still protecting her family's home. This sets the stage for a chilling tale of history, tragedy, and the supernatural at the Heceta Head Lighthouse. The following sections will explore more about Rue's ghost and the encounters that have made this location a must-visit for those fascinated by haunted places. Heceta Head Lighthouse has long been known for its beauty and historical importance, but its reputation as a haunted location is what draws many visitors today. Since it first opened in the late 19th century, eerie stories have surrounded the lighthouse and the keeper's house, elevating it to one of the most haunted places in America. The ghostly figure known as Rue is at the center of these tales. As the years passed, the house became notorious for strange occurrences. Workers, caretakers, and guests have all reported experiencing unexplained events. Many people claim to have felt an unsettling presence, particularly in areas of the house where Rue is said to linger, like the hallway in the attic. The attic, in particular, has developed a reputation for being one of the most active areas for ghostly encounters. Locked and off-limits to visitors, this space still produces mysterious noises, sounds of sweeping and furniture being moved, even though no one is there. What makes the haunting of Heceta Head Lighthouse stand out is the consistency of the stories. From caretakers who have lived on the property to guests staying at the bed and breakfast, many have described similar ghostly encounters. Some have witnessed the apparition of a gray-haired woman dressed in a late Victorian-style gown, while others have reported seeing a misty gray figure floating down the hallway. Despite numerous reports, Rue's spirit is never described as malevolent. Instead, she seems more like a watchful guardian, possibly still searching for her lost daughter. These hauntings have given Heceta Head a solid reputation as one of the West Coast's most famous haunted sites. The lighthouse, with its scenic yet isolated location, provides the perfect backdrop for ghost stories. Rue's legend has become intertwined with the history of the lighthouse, and her presence has been felt by generations of people, keeping the eerie atmosphere alive well into the modern day. Within the walls of Heceta Head Lighthouse and its keeper's house, certain spots are particularly known for ghostly encounters. One of the most active areas is the Cape Cove Room, a guest bedroom with a bed and breakfast that was once part of the keeper's quarters. Guests who have stayed here often mention strange sounds coming from the attic above. Even though the attic is locked and off limits, Visitors have heard footsteps, furniture being dragged, and the distinct noise of sweeping, yet no one is ever found inside. These eerie sounds have left many guests feeling uneasy, especially when they later learn of Rue's association with the house. Another key location is the hallway near the base of the stairs. Several visitors have claimed to see the figure of a woman, often described as a gray or misty silhouette, gliding quietly across the hallway. In one well-known encounter, a guest reported seeing the figure pass by while sitting in the parlor. This ghostly presence was calm, almost serene, but the sighting left a lasting impression on those who witnessed it. Perhaps the most chilling encounter took place in the attic itself. A worker tasked with cleaning the space reported seeing Rue up close. The gray-haired woman, dressed in her Victorian attire, appeared suddenly, leaving the worker so terrified that he fled the building and refused to return to the attic. Later, while repairing a broken window from the outside, the worker admitted he could not bring himself to step inside the attic, again due to his encounter. The lighthouse tower itself has also been the site of unusual activity. Though no apparitions have been spotted within the tower, workers maintaining the structure have described sudden gusts of cold air and the sensation of being watched while working alone. Some believe that Rue's spirit occasionally leaves the keeper's house and wanders the surrounding property, ensuring that the lighthouse remains in good order. Each of these encounters adds to the mysterious and haunted reputation of Heceta Head Lighthouse. The stories are remarkably consistent, further solidifying the belief that something or someone remains tied to this historic site. The haunted history of Heceta Head Lighthouse doesn't stop at just a few sightings or sounds. The number of ghostly experiences reported by guests, workers, and visitors continues to grow. One of the most frequently mentioned occurrences involves objects moving on their own, particularly in the upstairs rooms of the keeper's house. Guests have reported waking up to find their belongings rearranged, even though no one else had access to the rooms. Some visitors describe lights flickering, doors opening and closing by themselves, and objects mysteriously vanishing, only to reappear later in odd places. One particularly chilling story comes from a group of caretakers who stayed at the house while renovating it. During the night, they heard the unmistakable sound of someone sweeping broken glass in the attic. When they checked the next morning, they found a window had been broken, and the glass had indeed been swept into a neat pile. This incident spooked the caretakers, especially since they hadn't yet learned about the stories of Rue's spirit tidying up the house. The Cape Cove room, where guests often hear sounds from the attic, also has another eerie feature: a closet with steep stairs leading directly to the locked attic. Guests who stay in this room often feel an unexplained chill when near the closet, as if something is watching from behind the closed door. Some have even reported hearing faint footsteps on the stairs, despite the attic being inaccessible. Another guest shared her experience in the inn's ghost story notebook, describing an unsettling encounter with Rue. While relaxing in the parlor, she felt a sudden cold breeze and saw a gray figure float across the hallway. The ghost seemed peaceful, but the sight of it was unnerving. This encounter, along with the countless other reports, adds to the growing collection of ghost stories that make Heceta Head Lighthouse one of the most haunted places on the West Coast. Even those who do not believe in ghosts find it hard to dismiss the repeated, consistent stories coming from guests who have stayed at the lighthouse keeper's house. Whether it's the sound of furniture being moved, ghostly figures in the hallways, or cold spots in specific areas, the strange happenings at Heceta Head Lighthouse have cemented its place in haunted lore. Rue's presence may not be malevolent, but her watchful spirit is undeniably a part of the lighthouse's identity. The haunted legacy of Heceta Head Lighthouse continues to draw curiosity and intrigue from those who visit this coastal beacon. Over the years, the stories of Rue, the mysterious gray-haired woman believed to be the spirit of a lighthouse keeper's wife, have been passed down through generations. Although the accounts vary, the core of the legend remains the same. Rue is a protective, watchful presence. Her connection to the house is tied to the loss of a child, a tragedy that has kept her spirit tied to the keeper's home for over a century. The Heceta Head Lighthouse, perched high on the cliffs of the Oregon's rugged coastline, stands as both a beacon of safety for sailors and a monument to the past. Its walls have witnessed storms, shipwrecks, and the lives of those who lived and worked there. But it's the unseen, the stories of ghostly encounters and mysterious happenings that make this lighthouse one of the most haunted in the country. Today, the lighthouse serves as a bed and breakfast, inviting guests to not only enjoy the stunning views, but to experience a night in one of America's most haunted places. Some visitors come specifically in search of Rue, hoping for a glimpse of her ghostly figure, or to experience the strange phenomena that so many others have witnessed. Others simply stumble upon the eerie feeling of being watched, of something unseen lurking in the corners of the house. For some, Rue's presence is comforting. She's often seen as a spirit who watches over the property, caring for it in the same way she may have cared for her family all those years ago. For others, her presence is a reminder of the mysterious and unexplainable, a ghost bound to a place by love and loss. As the years go on, the stories of Rue and Heceta Head Lighthouse will continue to inspire curiosity and fascination. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the tales of this haunted lighthouse offer a glimpse into a world beyond the ordinary. It's a place where history and the supernatural intertwine, where the past is never quite forgotten, and where Rue's spirit seems destined to remain, forever watching over the craggy cliffs and crashing waves of the Oregon coast. In the end, Heceta Head Lighthouse is more than just a historical site. It's a place where the lines between the living and the dead blur, and where the echoes of those who came before can still be heard. Rue may never find the peace she seeks, but her presence ensures that Heceta Head will always be a place of mystery and wonder.